like, I make jokes and I dress provocatively, but do you really think I'm out there trying to get some?
No. We know you
And
don't want
getting
any.
it.
You've made it perfectly clear you don't even want what you have.
You're goddamn right.
Right. So
You are right on
anybody
that
that
one.
really knows you is going to be like, oh, yeah.
I don't want it.
She dressed her
No,
windows, but
thank
she's
you.
not selling nothing.
Hey, everybody, on today's episode of Madge Unmuted, it's 60 days till my 60th. 60 to 60 with Madge. Yay! And can you still be a whore at 60? That's what I want to know. Not that I want to be a whore, but does anybody take you seriously if you
They
like
do.
act
Yeah.
sexy? Do they? Really? Oh,
Sure.
great.
Yeah.
On today's episode of Madge Unmuted. Come on in, the water's fine. Not this, but the water. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Madge Unmuted. I am your hostess, Madge Madigan. Welcome. Today's topic, can you still be a whore at 60? And with that, and Chris and Fitz are here as always.
I can't wait to hear the answer.
So look,
I think
seriously,
I know the answer.
The reason why I ask is this is my 60 to 60 special. So literally it's 60 days, well, tomorrow. So whenever you're watching this, it'll be about 60 days to my 60th birthday. April 12th will be 60 days to my 60th birthday. And so, I've been thinking a lot about aging, of course. You know how that goes. And here's my question. I'll say it up front. Can you still be thought of as a whore at 60? Or do people just not take you seriously?
Like a whore in a good way?
No, like if I'm being,
Is that a thing?
I mean, like I meant like attractive, like like like
if
brown chicken,
I'm
brown cow sort of thing. Or,
if I'm dressing sexy and being provocative and whatever, and does anybody really take that seriously? Or they're like, she's just a kooky old lady. Or is somebody going to say, she's inappropriate and
she's a
whore?
I think
trollop.
I think it's totally that's a generational question. You can't answer that across the board,
I don't think you can't. No,
right?
I think only your
okay. So if I go to the country club tonight, maybe this will be my thing. So I am. So like it's it's a couple hours away from happy hour. So on a Friday.
You're gonna wear a tube top?
As one does. Oh yes. Yes. Because if I took off my bra, these would be tubes. Just kidding.
Like a continental soldier?
Yes.
Yes.
It's all in the packaging and the
Come,
presentation.
Mr.
Anyway.
Tallyman, tally me banana.
Oh, that's just wrong. See, but it's true. No, actually, really, again, as I've said before, I have most everything above the Mason-Dixon line still. So we have not. Yes.
That's hysterical.
So, anyway. So my question, like, if I went to the club and I'm dressed provocatively and, provocatively, again, it's subjective,
Like
right?
showing a little skin.
Like this. Is this,
Yeah. No, that's not provocative. I'm
mean,
not provoked.
Once again, I think it depends on who your audience is, right?
Runny nose. Yeah.
There could be some ladies that are like, oh, dear.
Look at her, but they're
You
jealous.
are just with
But
your
they're jealous,
lipstick
don't you
and your
think?
cleavage and your hoop earrings. What are you trying to do?
Exactly.
Leave my man alone.
Yeah.
She is going to get herself in trouble.
Don't you think it's a jealousy when it comes to like your peers or people older than you, that people are like, look at her Mason-Dixon line is still perky.
I mean, exactly. When it comes to it's a spectrum. Me, I have 3 kids. Well, my son doesn't count. I'm talking about my girls. Okay. The girls are 28 and 26. And sometimes I'm like, to them, beautiful 28, 26-year-old girls, I'm thinking, ooh, gosh, you don't want to give off the wrong idea. However, I'm also now of the age where why did everything have to be the fucking on the woman's
Yeah.
fault
On their fault, right.
or part or whatever? Why is it fun? Like you'll see a minister that says women shouldn't come dressed provocatively to church because it drives the men wild. That's the men's fucking problem.
Right.
Whether it's church or wherever, I don't know. I'm at this age again. I don't give a shit what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
These are the fucks that I have to give.
Wow, your autofocus really owned that shot.
Oh, did it?
Anyway,
oh, good.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's the fucks. They're fuckless.
So anyway, so yeah, I don't give a shit what I say or do anymore, pretty much, because I'm
As long
gonna
as
be
you got a top
60.
on, I think you're good. I wouldn't walk
Right.
in there, with everything flapping
Right,
in the breeze,
but-
probably.
So because, and I hope my sister doesn't get upset with this, but I don't know. She probably doesn't watch this. I don't think any of my siblings watch this. If you do, let me know, because then I'll know. Okay, you did watch. But any of my 5 siblings. So my oldest sister, who's 75, she was talking about coming back here. She lives on the West Coast. She's talking about coming back here to, reunions, and she wants to keep coming back often because they keep losing fellow classmates. That's a nice way to say everybody's dying.
They didn't
which
just
is-
lose them. They can't find them.
Right. They know where they are.
They know
They're in an urn. But
From
anyway,
under.
no, I mean, we got to make jokes about this stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway, so, she's talking about, and this guy last time was talking to me and he said this and whatever. And, and she was like still back in her Catholic high school days of, I don't want to give this guy the wrong idea or whatever.
Yeah,
and
she wants to
if
be pure.
he wants to talk to me and I love him as a friend, but I don't want him to get the wrong idea. And I'm like,
You better
that's
hurry up
his
and have him get
problem.
some idea, right?
well, I think he's exhibited some idea already. That's what, but it's like, I was trying to talk her down off of it. Like, I was trying to be, she's beautiful. I think a lot of you have met, she does
Yes.
not look
yes,
75.
sure,
She's beautiful. She's
absolutely.
gorgeous.
And she doesn't look her
actually
age at all.
Right. And she, that's right. You've met Kate.
Yeah. She doesn't look her age at all.
She,
Yeah.
she, and she's beautiful. And she does have men hit on her. And she's like, why are they talking to me? I'm like, 'cause you're beautiful. She's like, yeah, but anyway, my point is, I don't know. Did I have a point? My point is, I know she's worried about like
appearances, like keeping up appearances. Yeah.
Right. And getting the wrong idea and whatever. And I'm like, does anybody give a shit at that age? I mean, other people that age, like, is somebody going to actually think that you're a whore at 75, let alone 60? I say no.
I don't think so. I think people that give you the down their nose look are jealous. Yeah.
But I mean, I also think I'm also asking on the part of men.
Oh.
Like, you're and even Fitz, you guys are both within, like 5-10 years of my age.
Spitting range.
Kind of exactly.
Yeah.
And so
Huck to a range.
yeah, exactly. And like if you
I
saw
don't know
me,
what
would
that
you
is.
like,
I
oh,
know
she wants it.
A little something. Yeah.
And
I think if you can still put it out
Hide
there,
the
you should put it
kielbasa.
out there.
Yeah, I mean, fucking do it for as long as you can.
Yeah, and nobody's going to
Okay.
ever think you're going
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
60.
Like-
Nobody's ever going to guess that. Never.
oh,
Like-
thank you.
I mean, you tell
I mean,
everybody, but if they looked
granted-
at you, they wouldn't know.
right. So and granted, I have a partner, so I am not out there
And
doing
he
that.
thinks you're a whore. So
I'm glad you finally
there-
caught on too. I know. See what I'm dealing with? No, I'm kidding. He does. But he does in a good way.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Dirty,
no,
filthy.
I know. Yeah. And like, I make jokes and I dress provocatively, but do you really think I'm out there trying to get some?
No. We know you
And
don't want
getting
any.
it-
You've made it perfectly clear you don't even want what you have.
You're goddamn right.
Right. So
You are right on
anybody
that
that
one.
really knows you is going to be like, oh yeah.
I don't want it.
She dressed her
No,
windows, but
thank
she's
you.
not selling nothing.
It's all for show.
Yeah.
So
But I think
yeah,
if
I mean,
you can and you do and you like to dress with pretty clothes and
Yeah, why not?
and get your beaver
Front.
housing out. Yeah, not that beaver house.
So what was that?
Yeah.
What'd you say, beaver?
Her beaver housing. Her
Beaver
fur.
housing?
Her fur. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Anastasia Beaverhausen.
God bless you.
Who remembers who that is?
We
Will and
know.
Grace.
Well, Will and Grace, yeah.
You know, not everybody
I
does.
But,
Yeah,
like,
by
I
the
think
way-
if you got a fur, you should bring it out.
Well, I will tell you, and okay, I got several things to say on how your brain is trained, life, and how it can be.
That's a good place to freeze, don't you think? You froze in the best position. I thought you were holding it, and I'm like, she's holding that for a really
I was
long
looking into the camera and I didn't see down at my laptop where the zoom was, so I didn't
Oh,
see.
It was like,
time. Like how your brain is working. Right.
So-
or not working, right?
Start over.
How funny.
I don't know where. Okay,
How
so
your brain is working.
but how your brain is trained, and you can learn shit at like 4, and at 60, I'm still got that.
Neuroplasticity.
Well, and you also have all that Catholic guilt, which has been pounded into
Oh.
your head.
For the
Speaking
love
of pounding.
God.
Yeah. But
yeah. Speaking of pounding,
No, thank you. Anyway, although I did have by the by, I had an extremely erotic dream about Donnie Wahlberg the other night.
really? Speaking of
Someone
60,
who I've never,
Right.
someone who I've never thought
I don't know,
twice
man.
about in my life.
I can understand that. He's a cool guy.
yeah.
I
I
was
have
like,
those dreams all the time, too.
I'd wake up and I'm like, oh, I want to go back to sleep. And
he was
that was
gone.
really bad.
And
That
you were
was a
like,
really
oh,
bad-
John, move over.
No, well, see, that's the thing. He wasn't here. So,
Oh, I see.
but anyway, so
Mind if I
digress.
call you Donnie?
Right.
Oh, wait. Speaking of that, in the dream, he got up to like go to the bathroom and his brother Mark snuck in
Oh,
for a
come
minute
on.
and cuddled with me.
This is
and
not
then-
a dream. This is a
This-
Penthouse Forum article.
Yeah.
I know. I never thought it
brothers.
would happen to me.
I know.
And there really wasn't anything. There really wasn't anything like graphic or any actual sex that happened. It was just very sensual. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Just
okay,
cuddling
Mark.
with the bros.
Mark's exactly. I was having a Boston cuddle.
It's too
It was
bad.
a wicked awesome cuddle.
It's too bad Mark Wahlberg is, I don't know if it's real, but he's like supposedly teaming up with Mel Gibson to create an anti-woke film community or some shit.
Oh, good.
Well, he's already like super Catholic, which
Yeah. Which
he's
is
got
funny
that
when
Halo
you go back to the
or Halo. Yeah.
Halitosis.
Has Halo app, we know, with like prayers and shit. Sorry, I shouldn't say that in the same sentence, but yeah, he's like super Catholic, and it's like, okay, you were probably like whacking guys for Whitey Bulger back in the day, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, so I don't get sued. But I don't know. I just don't go for that ultra holier than thou stuff. So
Just to cuddle.
where was I? Yeah, just to cuddle with me and the Wahlberg boys. So
Did they at least bring a couple of Wahlburgers? Those are good. Have you had Wahlburgers?
No.
They're very good.
I
I've
haven't.
had one from
They-
Tom
A
Walls.
little pricey,
which I do like.
and I like Tom Wells too. No relation.
I'm not a huge burger person.
Burger girl.
Yeah.
Especially with lots of
Burger.
onions.
No,
She loves
I
her
don't-
onions.
I do like a Five Guys. I hate onions, you know that.
I know.
And I
That
like a
was my
Five Guys, and I like an
facetiosity.
In-N-Out burger.
Yeah. So you
As long as it's quick.
say
The
no more.
hamburger, exactly. As long as we got a time limit. And
Shit, now I'm
so I know, sorry. And shit, it's a Friday during Lent. Now I'm talking hamburgers.
Oh, is it Lent?
Great.
Until
Yes.
Easter.
I can never remember when it's Lent till it's after Lent.
What?
There you go.
Oh, till it's after Lent, and then you're like,
Then
darn
you're like,
it.
oh yeah, I missed 40 days
Darn
of
it.
giving nothing up.
But you know what? I assure you, well, actually, I can't assure you anything because I'm not God
not the
or
good
I'm
hands
not an
people.
after. Exactly. And I assure you, no one's going to hell because they ate a hamburger on
I
Good
would hope
Friday.
not.
Because that was a man-made thing by the Pope, the Vatican.
Yeah, right. Man-made.
Anyway,
Jesus didn't have hamburgers.
he did not. Jesus didn't
Camel
know how to
burgers.
ground beef. Could be.
Camel burgers.
Camel burgers.
I think
Camel toe
no.
burgers?
Yeah, yum.
I think no beef during Lent was an entire push from the fish industry.
Oh, and
It was
worked.
those fishermen,
it was
you know,
the
with the
Gorton
casting
fishermen.
out the nets. It was
Eating
from
fish is a bad
Gloucester.
halibut.
I don't trust the Gordon's fishermen. No.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So okay, so
Cut
way
that
back to when talking about things that aren't ingrained in you. So like as I've said for the 800th time, I'm going to be 60 in 60 days. And so remember to write it down and send in
It's the
your birthday
countdown.
presents. It is. It's
You
a
should have the
final
paper chain where you
countdown.
rip a chain link every day.
Oh, a Madgevent calendar.
Imagine. That's hysterical.
No, I want one that has the little doors that you open and find a little
And find
piece
a
of chocolate.
like a piece of jewelry would be nice.
I was like, what is if it's not
yes.
chocolate, what would it be?
jewelry,
Liver and onions.
booze, no
Yeah,
onions.
booze.
No, she's not
No.
in.
Is a shot of JMO. Yay.
Oh,
$100 bill.
in every for 60 days. That'd be nice.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Talk to John.
So I did. So I got a piece of hair in my eye. So I'm like, I feel like just saying whatever the hell I want and doing whatever the hell I want for the most part. And so my thought was, you know, does anybody actually think this? So I'm still stuck, you know, like in my 14-year-old brain sometimes, as a lot of us are.
That's
like,
bad,
oh,
and that you have to put on
that
a
it's
proper.
bad.
Yeah.
Right. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. Because also I was in a board meeting at the country club, and they said, oh, by the way, we had a complaint. I think we need to send out the rules again for the dress code because
Did they all look at you in
gotten a
unison?
I thought they were.
The whole room goes.
I seriously, in my 14-year-old brain,
You were
thought
like, "It's me,
that's what
it's
was
me,
going to
it's
happen.
me,
And
it's
I'm
me."
like, bitch, I ain't looking at you. Nobody cares about your dried up old ass.
And then you put
Well,
your
anyway,
boob back in your sweater.
But I did. So,
Oh, this whole thing? I'll put it back.
right. But they kind of ran down it, like thinking, okay, just
They were like,
reminder
okay.
that there's no, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my God,
Do
have
they
I
measure
had
your
any?
cleavage like in inches?
Yes, they're like, Madge, I'm sorry, your dress is too short, your cooch is hanging out. No,
Jeez.
ew, that was gross. I'm sorry, I said that.
Cut that out.
We can see a Beaverhausen.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly, it's down at your knees now. No, so
what are the rules? Are there really rules?
yes.
So what
but
are they?
They're very
Things you were
they're
breaking?
innocuous. Like, no, I don't think. But it was things like, you know, no ripped up torn
and stuff.
jeans,
Okay.
which I might have done that one.
Yeah, maybe one with a little tiny.
Yeah, maybe because, you know, I was wearing a
You're a
lot
little
of
bit punk. You're a little bit punk.
fashionably torn. Well, it was just the overall style, a year or two ago. So I may have, and I know I've worn like cutoff jeans,
Dukes.
but they're the fashionable cutoff jeans, that they wear now. They're longer. So, I mean, shorts. I'm talking about shorts. And but that still wasn't. They're talking about like no hats in the dining room, no gym shorts, no. It's
I don't
basically
want
no
people looking like
pajama bottoms.
riffraff.
Right.
Like
Don't come looking like you're.
slobs.
It's
Right.
Saturday
It's a country
morning
club,
at
for
Walmart.
God's sake. Have
Yeah.
some decorum.
But it
Right.
dawned on me because I'm like, oh my God, I remember a guy coming in here. He's probably late 20s, early 30s, and he was obviously a guest of someone because I didn't recognize him. And he came in, he was a very large individual. And granted, this might be all that he can fit in. And I'm not saying that to be shady, but he was wearing these huge basketball shorts that went down to like his knees, but like,
The emphasis on huge.
I don't know if he could fit in anything else. And he was wearing,
Yeah.
like a zip up hoodie along with it and a hat and I'm like, okay, this is probably
OG, and
yeah,
he's actually dressed like Mark Wahlberg.
pretty much. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's what it was. But of course, I was thinking it's back to me. Like, oh, is somebody complaining about
No.
the trampy redhead?
Trampy. I
'Cause
don't
she is-
think they are. I don't think they are.
You never know. But anyway,
Plus,
so
you write the rules. You should just amend the rules. I'd like to propose an amendment.
Yeah,
like, look,
I'd like to.
I'm
to
the resident
propose a movement.
entertainment. I'm the resident entertainment. You really want me to?
Do you want
I
them to
don't- I
have
don't
nothing
mean
to
like-
talk about? What are they going to talk about?
Exactly.
Right. How do you do? You feel like people are casting aspersions on you, like giving you,
what?
side eye or down the nose, like, oh, look at her.
I don't because
Oh,
for
good.
the number
Well, then,
of
'cause-
people.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there might be forever. Sorry, I got a little runny nose day. For every 50 people that say, "Oh, I love your outfit," I'm sure there's always, because I've seen it. There's always one that's like, who she thinks she is,
Yeah.
And it's like, again,
Yeah. Here's my fucks.
yeah, and because I always, even from the like most uptight of people, they're always like, we always love seeing what you're going to wear, some
We just
old
never
money-
know what's going to happen.
exactly.
Oh,
And we
jeez.
love the fact that you just don't care, and I'm like,
Well,
oh,
that's
wait
a
a minute.
backhanded ass
I know,
compliment.
exactly. And then I'll make that joke, and I'm gonna be like, and they'll say, well, you know what I mean, like you. Oh, you're the only one that can pull it
There's
off.
always
And I'm
going
like,
to be
yeah,
some
you
part
keep
that's
it-
exposed. Yeah. You just never know what it's going to be.
And so they, but I still do care because I have children. I don't want to embarrass them, but I'm sure it's way too late for that. So that's why I don't tell a
They're
lot of
not
the
embarrassed
stories.
of you. But if you stuck a little coffee filter, like right here and tucked into the
A
front of your
doily.
sweater, like a little doily, yeah, well, and be like, I'm trying to be, yes, like that. That's where I keep my tissues.
My tissue. Wait, we'll do it like, how you ever go to Parkley and you buy a present
Or a dickie. Do
and
you
they
have a
put it
dickie?
in a bag?
Yes,
and
and,
they
that's
put
exactly
the-
how they do it. They give it one. Yep.
See?
There you go.
I
Yep.
know.
One little.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't
that-
need to be like Candy Spelling and have my own wrapping room, present wrapping room.
God, no.
Did you ever hear about that?
Yes, I know.
Who?
That big spelling
Candy
mansion.
spelling.
Aaron Spelling's what?
Ex-wife.
Ex-wife?
Well,
widow.
late wife.
Widow?
Widow.
Oh, he died.
No, she's alive.
No, that's
He's
what I
late.
mean.
That's-
Yes, I didn't mean
Jesus
late.
Christ!
She's
people,
not
let's-
late. He's late.
He's late. He's very late. He's hasn't come around for
He's not
several
coming.
years now.
He's not coming. He's in an urn somewhere.
He is. He's in a mausoleum. And so yeah, she had her own
Yeah, gift
present
wrapping room. Yeah,
in their big huge
because
mansion.
Was it busy? Did they do a lot of presents?
Apparently.
Was there like a full-time staff? I mean, what?
That's what I always wondered. I don't know. I mean,
Can you imagine? I mean,
she
I
must
think it's
have had
kind of
to.
nice to have a spot to put stuff other than under the bed
Right,
or
right.
wherever it
I'm
happens to
happy to have a
go.
Right. I
bedroom.
mean, like I have the wrapping paper closet,
Yeah.
like in Jack's room downstairs, because my kids no longer live at home. They live 6 hours away. So in his closet, I keep like the big bag of wrapping paper. So essentially, that is my
That's your
wrapping
wrapping
room.
room.
But it
It's
gets
time you come out of the
used.
closet, Mitch.
I
Yeah.
know. Uh, it gets used like twice a year. Once
Yeah.
for Christmas and then
Birthday,
maybe
maybe.
somebody's birthday. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, God, I should just keep this here really.
Could you just
And
stuck, yeah, there and then, or just roll up a little piece and stick it right up your nose?
exactly. We'll try that. So, so it's
It's a
all
good
about
look.
efficiency, people.
It is.
All right. So I'm going to go back to
So do
another
you,
thing.
what you were saying is, do you really feel like people are giving you the, like, who does she think she is?
I do, like I said, 1 out of 50
Yeah,
people.
but it
And
doesn't matter because
it doesn't matter
you're over
anymore.
it.
I
Yeah.
used to be terribly, terribly concerned about what
Yeah.
other people
Well, we
think.
all did. Don't you think that's half
Right.
the damage that we all carry around with us is worrying about what people
Yes.
think of us every minute of every day? Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that
absolutely.
comes with the getting older is that you finally realize, wait a second, I read about this my whole freaking life.
Yeah.
And really, it never really mattered because people liked you for you and not for,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
didn't like you for whatever, whatever, but it had nothing to
And
do
there's
with,
nothing I could do about that.
no.
Yeah. And
So,
I did, a lot of times in my life, whether it be in my career or with friends or whatever, dating, I would be so preoccupied about what did I do? Why don't they like me? What's wrong with me? What did I do? Whatever. And then I had, finally had this epiphany around like 45 or 50, probably more like 50,
yeah, because he
that
was a jerk. That it doesn't matter and you have to be yourself and people
so
are going to either love you or
right.
not.
It had whatever this stuff happened, it wasn't me, it was them,
Yes.
I mean, granted, okay, there are sometimes things a person can do, like cheat on you or something, duh. Yeah, that's obviously something you did, but I didn't do that. So anyway, but I would always be like, oh, I went out on a date with someone. Why didn't he call me back? Why didn't, what did I do? And I finally learned that like nothing. It's them.
Yeah.
They just didn't like you. You just didn't click. You just weren't their cup of tea.
Which, yeah, you don't want to have a relationship with somebody that you don't
Right.
click with.
Or they weren't, they were still preoccupied with their whoever they just broke up with, or they had their eyes set on somebody else, or which has nothing to do,
Right. And
which
they
had nothing
ended
to
up
do
with
with
the perfect person. You know exactly who I mean. He ended up with the perfect person. He finally found, and it wasn't you,
Yeah.
so that's okay. Yeah.
You're right. And
Yeah.
that is
And he's happy and you're happy. And,
right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
But I do think that at the time you put it all on you. You're like, oh God, I'm going to be
Yeah.
alone forever. I said the wrong thing. I did the wrong thing. I ordered the wrong meal. I did the wrong whatever it happened to be on our
Right.
day. And yeah.
And I would say, well, like halfway into that relationship,
Yeah.
I had the epiphany. So it wasn't 50, it was before that it's, and
But that's growing. That's growing. That's
Yeah.
why I think, and you wouldn't be who you were now at 60 or 59 and,
yeah,
11
and
sixteenths
7/8
or whatever. Yeah.
exactly.
You wouldn't be that if you didn't learn those lessons then. You'd still be feeling that way, I think. So,
Oh yeah, speaking of that, I've gone back and read some of my old blogs or my own Facebook posts, or if I happen to have videos, and it's fucking embarrassing sometimes where I was, bitching about something because I'll be watching one of my wonderful Bravo shows, and the girl will be so angry that this guy that she went out with, they went out for a while and then he broke up with her, because, and his reasoning was, it's not, I can't give you what you want. I don't want to be in a relationship and you do. So, and therefore I'm, let's go our separate ways. That to me is a very mature thing, and that's what dating is.
Yeah.
So, you find out if you want to be with that person. You hang out with a person a lot, a bunch, you date, whatever. Even if it's a 20-year marriage, you're in that and people start to change, and you either grow together, you grow apart, or you realize you can't be together anymore. Shit happens. So this one of these Bravo shows, the girl's like, he's terrible. He broke it off, blah, 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 blah. And he used me. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He was dating you, and then realized that you weren't the person.
Yeah, and he was honest, and
he was honest. So get the fuck over it.
Right.
But I found myself in some past blogs or whatever doing that. Like, he never called me, and he blah 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 blah, and it's like, God,
you dodged a big bullet. I think that's the way I look at it. It's
not
like
just yes.
Not in anyone specific, but yeah.
Right.
Every time that happens, you don't want to be with somebody that doesn't want to be with you. So you're like,
it wasn't meant to be.
Right. Yeah. And you even weren't at the right place. I mean, you're at a totally different place now.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Yeah, I think about that often.
Yeah.
Like I think about how I was, because you remember me back around, 2012, 2011, whatever. And, I was a hot mess because my ex-husband had just vanished and left me to raise these 3 kids by myself without giving me any money, any support. And the kids were a mess. And, I would get so upset because I was so desperate for a moment of joy or happiness.
And stability too. Yeah.
Yeah, there was that. Yes. Oh, yes. I craved stability. I just wanted can somebody just come in and take care of me for a day?
Yeah.
Where is my support? And I didn't have any family near where I lived, whatever. And so I wanted either just a moment of attention and fun and happiness, and or somebody to care about me and just be my support. And I would get so, desperate about it and make an ass out of myself.
But I also think that's why you can look back at that and realize how much you've grown and be so proud of. I mean, you've just monumental change. Like,
thank you.
Huge.
Well, so have you.
And everybody. But I think everybody does. When you look back at your younger selves, we can all look back at our younger selves and be like, oh boy. But guess what? We were where we were then because that's where we were. And you don't look back and go, oh, I was a mess. Because at the time, that's all you could do,
Right. So along with that, I've had this conversation a few times because of 2 different reasons. One, I was thinking about not everybody does grow. Some people get stuck at a certain point in their lives. And I was talking about there's a situation in my life where somebody's dealing with an elderly parent, and the parent has started to become difficult, and it's obvious that they have, because my parents did it. They weren't difficult, but when they were in their end years, in their late 80s, almost 90, they were starting to regress, as often elderly people do, and they go back in time to a point that was most often very pivotal, or that there was trauma. It was either they go back to the happiest time of their life or the most traumatic. And this person is doing the latter. And that just made me think of that, even not just being elderly and dying, but it's like, I know people in our, and I know we all do in our adult lives.
Right.
Thank you. That's a very good word. They are stuck
Yeah.
in a certain level of maturity in their life, and they can't get past it. And so the second thing, I made a TikTok video this week about dating your age, and I told a story about how when I was 45, all those years ago, and around then, I guess I was dating. I was doing Match.com, and I remember, you know how back then you put in your age preference of the person you're interested in, and so I had mine, and then I would get these, and I was much, younger and thinner and better looking, so I would get a lot of responses, and I would get a bunch of responses from like 60-year-old men, and I was like, ew, grandpa. I'm not interested.
Right.
In
and then when
Get
you
away.
turn 60, you realize, wait a second, I am
Exactly.
not.
So how does that happen that today I'm about to turn 60 and I'm like, that 60-year-old guy's hot.
Well, because 60 is the new 45. That's why. Yeah.
Right. But like another thing I was looking at, I was TikToking in the can, and no, not in but sitting on the can. I was TikToking. That came out wrong. So I was looking at TikTok. I know. So I'm looking at TikTok, and this girl was like something about dancing with my dad, and she was like in her late 20s, and I realized that the guy that she was dancing with was a guy who used to be a popular musician back in our day, and he is now 67.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, he's hot. And mind you, he hasn't found the fountain of youth. He looks in the neighborhood of 67, maybe not so much, maybe, 60, right. But he's still hot. And by the way, you know who it was? Gary Newman. Do you remember Gary Newman?
Gary Newman.
Cars.
In Cars.
Oh, yes.
It's the only song I know that he...
Right. He's
I know he did more.
He's done a bunch of others, but, British new wave guy. Hot. So sorry, John, but so I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually finding a 67. There's even like I've seen 70-year-old guys that like, oh, if I were dating, I think I would go out with him. He's attractive, and so how does that work? That when you were younger, that was old. And now it's not, and it's fine. Conversely, I don't find somebody from an age I've already been, like 45, I'm not attracted. Like, I'll be like, oh, that person is good looking. I'm not attracted. Especially, God, 30, 25-year-old, that shit, guys that our age that want to date that.
You can't even...
What do you have in common?
You can't relate.
But then again, they're not. I know they're not dating them to have a conversation
to talk about. Yeah.
When I was in my, I'm trying to remember how old I was. I would say my early to mid 20s.
Your early 50s.
Yeah, just yesterday. This was when I was working a lot, and all of my friends had like moved away and went to college, and I was working this job and traveling a lot. So pretty much didn't have any social life at all. And started doing the
That's me raising kids.
Was it the Quest line or something? I think we talked about that.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
And I found myself dating a lot of women who were
define a lot.
5 over the course of a year. Not serious, just going out and stuff. Right. But they were all like 38, 40, and I was 25, 26. I was 25 or 26. Yeah. But I didn't connect with the girls that were my age. They were just not they were not mature enough. And the best conversations that I had was always with the older ladies. And also the older ladies, they didn't do the games. They were just like, so I want to get, I want someone to go to. I want to get it in.
Yeah. And I got 15 minutes.
Right. It's like, let's go to a movie. Let's go to dinner, go to a movie, go bang, and then I'll drop you off. It's like, it was like really specific. Yeah. But that relation thing, is so key, that with that age difference. Like now, I mean, I'll see a girl, she's 25 or whatever, hot, but man, no. Like there's no
right.
I couldn't. No. You sit down with them for 5 minutes and you're just like, oh,
unless she was one of those people, and there
the old soul. Yeah.
I was just going to say an old soul. Occasionally you get an old soul. Cause like my son was like you from what he had told me. I mean, now he's 31. Oh God. Now he's 31. But, I remember him telling me when his first, when he's like 25, whatever, around that age, every once in a while, I'd be like, oh, what are you doing? He lives in New York City, and I'm like, oh, I've gone on any dates, whatever, just haven't come, and he'd tell me, yeah, I went on a date with this 35-year-old woman or this 38-year-old woman. It was really great. Now, Chris, you've met my son. Well, Fitz, you have too. And he's always been an very mature old soul. Yeah, he didn't have anything to talk to these girls. But now he's dating a woman who's 50. The same age.
Oh yeah.
No, she's the same age, but she's here on a work visa, research. Boy. She's a scientist visa. She's from Poland.
Oh boy.
So
she's she's leaving any minute now.
Exactly.
I do like the Eastern Bloc women, though. I will say the Polish and the Ukrainian and Russian women.
Eastern Bloc girls got lots of hair. No,
they'll kick your ass, but boy, you'll enjoy it while it's happening.
They can't get a tan. And
they can't get a tan.
That's the Irish.
Oh no, the Polish are very white.
Pale.
None of
pale
pale. Yeah,
and
word.
sturdy. They're very sturdy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for
sure. Big boned. And so so anyway, but yeah, I'm just, like thinking about, because, people will always make the jokes, like, especially to a woman, when all of a sudden it became fashionable or whatever to be a cougar a few years ago. Remember when cougar was just coined and it was like, God, there were a couple of shows like that.
Cougars?
Was that a show?
Was it one called Cougars with the chick from Friends? Courtney Cox?
Yeah, Courtney Cox. That's exactly. I had that pictured in my head, that show, and I'm like, and Busy Phillips. I don't know why I remember she was on it, but yeah, it was that show. And then I think like Desperate Housewives had an air about that. Like Eva Longoria was kind of
in the neighborhood.
Yeah. So when that became fashionable, I used to enjoy
that show because they were very pretty women. Yeah.
But it was also, at the time, it was a new thing.
That was the guy that was cutting the grass without a shirt on it.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah.
But it was a new thing that, all of a sudden, women can have, sexual autonomy, and we can own it, and we can be attracted and not feel guilty.
You've come a long way, baby.
And
not anymore.
Exactly. We can. Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on that. But yeah, so we can, you can voice your sexual needs, and it can be like you said, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, I got 15 minutes. Meet me, and I went through that after my divorce in my late 30s and till yesterday. No, I'm kidding. But
At the country club, no wonder you've got a reputation.
I know, you whore.
Whore.
And mind you, I don't like that word anymore.
No, that's a terrible word, really.
That's now terrible.
Did you ever like that word? Whore?
I did actually. There was a period of time where, because it was owned as a joke several years ago, like how Madge and Biscuit would say, Alexa, play Bernadette Peters, and they're like, now playing Bernadette Peters, and they may go, that's right, you whore. Now though, I'm kind of like,
it's like the Joan Rivers version of she used to always use whore.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was funny.
Right.
And like I used to, back when I, in the early, like from like 2008 to 2015 or whatever, my thing, I always thought it was funny to call other women hooker. And it like, hey, hooker, just because it was such an antiquated word. and it was, because I hate women were like, hey, bitch, what's up, bitch? Or like, oh, like all of our gay men friends, were always like, what's up, bitch? And there's some that still do that. And I'm like, that's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
Although I'm sorry, it's kind of funny when you say it, but it's not cool anymore. Please don't call me that. And one person comes to mind, and I haven't seen him, and I know you haven't seen him in so long anymore. But the person who always used to call me Blanche.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
right.
Blanche.
Yeah,
him. You are Blanche. Look at Blanche. He would, and this was like
but
him.
It was like
he
an
was
act. Yeah,
half
like
in the bag. Yes, it was an act, but he was also 3/4 in the bag. But but it was funny. But now I'm like, ooh, don't call. Yeah, let's not use that word anymore. But like hooker. Was a hooker was just so funny.
Although people don't even know what that means probably anymore. You say that and they'd be like, what? Ooh.
Tow truck?
Right. Or like,
right.
Yeah. Or my mother, my mother, I miss her so much. She would always have such funny yet still poignant ways to say things. Like her big thing when she wanted to, like, oh my God, don't wear those shoes. You look like a streetwalker.
Yeah.
Streetwalker. That was another one. That was about as nasty as that. And this is like in the 70s, and she's like, I still use this to this day. And I told my kids about it, and my girls think it's so funny. My mother had this way of saying, like, we'd walk down the street, and there is 1977, and there's some girl in her booty shorts and a tube top and whatever, and my mother would go, she's looking, it's a little chilly for that outfit, meaning
like put some clothes on.
Exactly. Right. But I knew exactly what you meant. Trollop. But anyway, I digressed, going back to the whore and hooker thing. And
so what are you going to do about it in summation?
Nothing.
Nothing. Right.
I got nothing.
So it all comes back to, here you go.
So this entire podcast was pointless. That's it. Hey, we'll see you next time. No, I don't know. There's no end game to this conversation. It was just kind of a talking it through. Like can I go out and wear a miniskirt with my Betsy Johnson boots? And
yes, you may.
Does anybody really think I'm out to get some, or if I'm just out to be funny and fun?
And your telephone purse.
I told you I threw that out. Did I tell you that?
No. Was it a wrong number?
Yes, it was. I said, please, on the request line. Hey, DJ. No. So I had to. Okay, so everybody, I had this iconic Betsy Johnson purse that I bought in 2012. The end of 2012, and around there, 2013 maybe. I remember I bought it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it was a black pleather purse shaped like a telephone.
Like the old-fashioned desktop
The old-fashioned, like it had a flap. The flap that covered the top was the rotary dial. And then the handle was a receiver, the old-fashioned phone landline receiver. And it actually worked. And this is how old it is. It actually had like it had a cord, and it had a jack on the end that you could plug in when they used to have cell phones that had like the headset that was an actual jack kind.
So you could actually talk on the
you could actually talk. Yeah. And I have, by the way, Chris, I have so many pictures of like you and Maddie and whatever.
I know,
anybody.
like, hello?
You're all have my phone. Hello. Yeah, your purse is ringing. And who was it? Who got for one of their birthdays? Got a red.
Me.
Yeah.
I still have it in my car. It's in my truck. Yes.
Who gave it to you?
The receiver, Maddie.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. Yeah. That you could plug into
props. Maddie loves props. Yeah.
Our friend Maddie DW, miss you, love you. And so we used to all give each other like props.
Yeah, for our birthdays, we'd show up with a prop, and that would be the thing for the whole evening. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we take all these funny videos and pictures, and so this was shaped like a telephone, and everywhere I went, people were like, oh my God, is that That's a telephone. I love that. That's great. Oh, and they stop it. Well, 13 years later, when I was getting ready to move here, I'm, packing everything. And I had kind of retired that phone a little bit because the receiver, the plastic was starting to like decay. It just started. I can't explain it. If you've ever had anything plastic that just started to get sticky.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
And
too many people touching your phone.
I think it was really just bad plastic that was just starting to decay. And then I don't know if here's another incident. I don't know if you remember, on the back of the purse was a zipped compartment. And I don't know if you remember, one time I was at the pub and I had it on. I had it across my chest, and it was leaned over, and I was talking to someone who was they could be a bit of a drunk. And she was talking to me and had a bowl full of Katie's famous chili. It was like during a football game.
And it was in the zipper pocket.
She dumped it. I don't know if you remember that.
No,
everybody knew about this. She dumped her chili all down into my purse. And it was in that pocket. It was all through the zipper and through the zipper. And now this is like pleather and cloth and, and I think really that's part of the reason why the plastic decayed. The
chili
got
was eating it.
Acid. Exactly. And, the purse was never the same. I kind of retired it a bit. I kept trying to clean it, and then it was just like
falling apart.
It was never the same. It was gross, and it was stained and whatever. And she never said, "I'm sorry." She never even said, "Can I buy you a drink?" Nothing. She was just like, "Oh," she was oblivious. And
where's my chili?
Exactly. Yeah. You took my chili. So when I was moving, I just threw it out because the plastic on the fake dial on the front was decayed and discolored.
Chili acid.
Exactly. And I was like, God. I think it's time to let it go. I wish I still had it.
You had several purses though, didn't you have one that was, there, I know, look at them all. I know. It seems like,
look at it. They're all Betsy Johnson. I got the washing machine, the radio, the TV, the stove, the refrigerator.
Oh my God, they're awesome.
The pizza box.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of, because I was like, there was one that was food.
Yeah. I think that's all I have in the appliance. I have other ones that are. I wish, and they still sell the phone, but now it's it's got skulls all over it and rhinestone. I'm just like, I just want the old black one that looked just like the old home phone. Oh dear God. So anyway,
I think we've solved it.
I think we've come.
We have
nowhere.
No F's to
I was going to say full circle, but actually we've gone nowhere. And
we're back.
And back to square one. Hey, everybody, welcome to Magic Muted. It's 60 days to my 60th birthday.
Jeez. That's hysterical.
So you got to tell me what should I do for I set up, I'm having a party for myself. Of course, it's what I do because no one else will ever make a party for me. But I'm having
John
a party.
Forget. Even if you do the countdown chain, he's going to be like, what?
Because right. But he'll be like, well, I don't know. Do you want this? Do you want this? Because he knows.
You're like, I want all of it. And let's go somewhere nice, warm.
He's like, I don't know. Exactly. Actually, I want to go somewhere cold. I want to go to Europe. But anyway, no. So I'm having this little party, one party, which I would love for you guys to come.
Yes.
Down here at the country
Fitz
club,
loves
and
parties.
I haven't. I know Fitz is a party animal.
Party animal.
I haven't thought of the proper name for it yet. But it's going to be along the lines of fabulous. fabulousness, and oh wait, I shouldn't have said anything on here because people are gonna be like, "Where's my invite? You didn't invite me."
And you're like, "You missed my birthday. It was 60 days ago." Don't you
exactly.
listen?
You did not warrant a no. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. So
a 60
I want
soiree.
people to wear. I want you to in my what's the word?
Honor?
No,
homage?
Maybe in honor of my way of thinking. I want you to wear whatever the fuck you want to wear. Wear, not you guys, but wear. Or if you wanted, that's fine too. Wear those 6-inch heels. You have no place else to wear them. Get a ball gown and wear it. Dress like a fucking astronaut. I'm gonna be in a ball gown.
I thought you were gonna say ball gag.
It's gonna be your cotillion,
wear a ball
right?
gag. Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's my quinceañera.
Sextinciera.
Yeah, exactly. My septenniera.
Your deviated septenniera.
Exactly. Because you know where I got the idea? Because I had such a miserable wedding day. Because my ex-husband was hammered, and he spent the entire time with all his fraternity brothers that he had invited. Because he was only 24. I was 26.
Oh my goodness.
And come to find out, some of the girls from college he invited were his exes. So he's like dancing with them and everything the whole time. And I'm just like, and he's just hammered. Anyway, let's not talk about that, shall we? So I want to have a day.
A day for me without your ex-husband.
Exactly.
Or is he invited? He's not invited.
No, because he doesn't drink anymore, and I don't want him to be Debbie Downer. But no, we're just not. We're not like that. So I'm gonna have a day.
You are gonna have a ball.
I am.
Or two.
I hope you guys can make it. Yeah,
we will. It's only 60 days.
Exactly. I'll probably have one up that way too.
You totally should.
I'm gonna have a tour.
A tour. Yeah. We're on tour.
Exactly.
We're taking it on the road.
Magapalooza. The Madge Warped Tour.
Vagapalooza. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The Vagima Canal on the road. See my last thing for that. Yeah, sorry, I didn't this podcast is coming up late, by the way, because I was sick this week, and last week I was in Connecticut. So anyway, next week we'll be back, right, guys? We're gonna be back next week.
We'll be back.
We shall be back.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
And then it'll be 7 days
like
closer.
55 days to my birthday, and I'll have the chain or the Madvent calendar.
We gotta have a countdown.
The final countdown. I'm sorry. Remember that song? Who sang that? Anyone?
Europe.
Anyone? Thank you. Europe.
Poland.
What?
Yeah.
Poland.
Yeah, Europe.
Where they don't tan. And full circle scene. Okay. Yeah. So, hey, don't forget to subscribe while you're here. So you can be on the Madvent calendar and follow me to 60 days till 60. Subscribe to Madge Unmuted podcast, and you'll know when the next episode drops, as the kids say. Fitz, Chris, love ya. Thank you for being here as usual, and we'll see you next week on the next episode of Madge Unmuted. Bye.